welcome to the official opening of the Romanian chapter of Girls in Tech. My name is Irina Scarlat. I am co-founder of Access, organization that promotes entrepreneurship in Romania, and marketing manager of Girls in Tech Romania. I will be your host tonight. It is a special evening as we gathered here to mark the launch of the Romanian chapter of Girls in Tech, international network founded in 2007 in San Francisco by Adriana Gascoigne. Today, Girls in Tech has grown to over 8,500 members worldwide, with local chapter across the globe in countries like China, Greece, France, the UK, Chile, and many more. We are proud to announce that Romania is the third country to enter this incredible network after France and the UK. In the first part of the event tonight, we'll have the opportunity to listen to some very inspiring talks and opinions of women involved in various areas of technology on two continents, North America and Europe. Right after that, we'll invite you on the other side of the room to connect with each other over wine, light food, and of course, a chocolate fountain for Girls in Tech. For information about the event agenda, our speakers, and the other participants present in the room, we strongly encourage you to use the Olia Park application for iPhone and Android. All the information you need for using the app is available on your badge. So, before calling on stage two of the ladies involved in this entire action of opening the Romanian chapter of Girls in Tech, I would like to present, with your permission, the list of incredibly good people that made possible the organization of this event tonight. And I will start with Vodafone, which is the main sponsor and supporter of innovation. Already an integral part of our daily life, keeping us connected with friends and family all over the world, Facebook is offering tonight the Drinks and Connect part of the event. Mosaic Works, that provided us with much needed support. The ARC, that is hosting us tonight here at the coolest event venue in Bucharest. Look at this stage. Look around you. Everything is offered and has been created with the help of contemporaries. You have already tasted at your entrance the fine tea offered by Bernschutz & Co. Aqua Carpatica, of course, our favorite water. Domeniile Sâmburești, that brought us some tasty wine to help us networking afterwards. Aros, who have offered us these beautiful flowers tonight. And last but not least, Mihai Simionică, the photographer who is here to capture through beautiful photos this event, so do not miss him. So, it is time to start now. I would like to introduce the Girls in Tech Romania team, a team of which I am proud to be part of, together with Iulia Tomescu, our web designer. I will finally call on stage Anca Foster, Startup Weekend's Operation Manager for Central and Eastern Europe and Business Development Manager for Girls in Tech, as well as Catalina Rusu, co-founder of Geekcelerator and Managing Director of Girls in Tech Romania. Ladies, I would like us, first of all, to talk about this whole women in tech movement. Do we need women in tech? Do we need such a movement?
Well, the opinions are very split, actually, internationally. Some think it can be considered like positive gender discrimination. But what we really think, and others believe there should really be, all this movement and women joining tech should be encouraged. And what we believe as team of this organization, of course, is that there has to be created a network of support and inspiration for all kind of women involved in tech, from experts to entrepreneurs, and, women financing the entire tech industry. So yes, of course, there should be something like this. That's why we're here, actually. And the gentlemen, by the way, are very welcome to support the entire movement. Yeah, by the way, I'd like to give a big thanks to Alex Barrera here for for the workshop on storytelling he has offered us yesterday. It was really amazing.
Want to see some stories?
Sorry?
Some stories.
Oh, sure.
Anka?
Does this work? Okay. Hi, everybody.
So to answer Irina's question, I think it's a tremendous opportunity for women and for girls. We are called Girls in Tech, but really it's for everybody, no matter the age. It's a tremendous opportunity to become part of a community like this because, you know, to see how things work and to not be shy. This is it's a field where a lot of women are shy to be part of and like, oh yeah, you know, that if they find out that I'm a geek, they won't like me and I'm not hot and all that stupid stuff. So I think it's really important to stick together, you know, and have the support of the community. And I notice here, like, none of you is actually enthusiastic, I think. You all look really shy and really timid, and I don't know why. Like, we should be more, you know, you should be stronger, and you should be like, yes, like, see that glitter in your eye, you know? So that's why we started this, because I think, and especially in this part of the world, I think that women need more empowering, and we can do this together.
So now I will bring on the table a more controversial subject, that of gender discrimination. What about gender discrimination? What about women in tech? Why are we called girls and not women?
Well, I will start with the girls thing. It's actually a term which is meant to create bondage. It's like addressing a friend. It's not about age, it's not about diminishing, it's just, you know, about a peer relationship actually. It's like saying, I'm going to dinner with my girls. So it's this kind of term.
Yeah, we are not discriminating in any way. You know, like, you have clubs for food, you know, for cooking classes. And you have clubs for all types of different activities. And this is just a club where, you know, the only thing that we have in common is that we're women. It's nothing discriminating. Like, guys are welcome. See, look, we have guys. Yeah. What?
I'm like a girl, don't worry.
Oh, yeah, I know.
And
okay,
also,
never mind him.
Also, we're not fans of positive discrimination. I mean, we really believe in meritocratic societies. But the thing is, we really need to encourage a little bit our women, especially those who didn't join yet tech and are studying computer science or at university or high schools. Sometimes they might be scared of seeing all these conferences with a lot of men and thinking, oh my God, maybe I should not be who I am in order to be accepted. And we want to show it's not like that. I mean, you can be who you are. So
yeah, she put it more eloquent.
And what is important, we are not a support group for the discriminated women in technology that cannot handle it by themselves. So we are strong, and we are not here to ask for positive discrimination, but to be together and to create a network. Woo!
Yes, yes.
So what do we intend to do now with Girls in Tech Romania? What's next?
Well, first of all, open a dialogue between all women and hope that most of them will join it. And we'll have some tools which are online and will be continuous dialogue. We have already opened our Facebook group, Girls in Tech Romania, and we really hope you will join it. We have our Girls in Tech Facebook page and Twitter profile, please follow it. Then we'll have all kind of gatherings like this one, or like the workshop we had yesterday for sharing experiences, learning. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's important to know each other and to create a network of people, you know, that have the same interests. It doesn't matter that we're girls or guys or whatever. This is just a way to bring you guys more into the tech community, and this way you will find out more about the events that are happening in this community, you know, and give you the opportunity or like pull you out of your comfort zone and, you know, like, okay, you can go to How to Web, you can go to all these events that are happening, like Startup Weekend, shameless promotion, this weekend. You know, and to learn more, learn how to start your business. Even if you're a tech person, you know, you can create your own business these days. So this is what this is for, is to create an opportunity for you guys in a system, like a support system for you to do and to get wherever you want to get.
And also I had this idea because everybody was asking me, okay, why do you need this? I mean, how many women in tech are there if you're saying that you need to support them? Who are they? And I was like, okay, I don't know the answer to this question, actually. So my idea is, why wouldn't we map women in technology, not only in Bucharest or Romania, but maybe internationally, and maybe we can get into this project, let's say, organizations of like ourselves worldwide. So this is a goal. I hope it will become a project with your help.
So thank you very much, ladies. This is the team that brought Girls in Tech into Romania, so I think they deserve your applauses.
Thank you.
You came here to hear some inspiring insights, and we are proud to have some amazing speakers prepared for you. I will begin by asking you a question. How many of you have played Monster World on Facebook so far? Oh my God, I didn't expect that answer. So, we are proud to have next to us Stephanie Kaiser. She is head of studio at Wuga. Wuga is the third largest developer of social games in the world and the biggest one in Europe. And Stephanie will talk us more about what it takes to be a woman in tech. Stephanie, please come next to me.
Can we turn down the lights a bit, maybe? Because of, like, if you want to see a little bit, maybe we can. But anyway, okay, so nobody knows Monster World here, but I had an episode in Istanbul once where I went to a hammam and I just wanted to take a bath there. And the guy at the reception had a laptop standing next to him. And I was talking about my game somehow. I don't know why. I think it was the day when the game hit 1 million daily active users. And the guy had a laptop standing next to him, and I thought, well, maybe you should try and test the game. So he started actually the game, and it was talking to him in Turkish, and he was really happy. Oh wow, the game is localized. And then he realized that he had already 6 friends playing the game. Just, okay, nobody of you has played the game, but there are some people in the world. Okay, yeah, thank you very much for the invitation. I'm very proud to be here. Yeah, I got the introduction already, so you know I'm from Wuga. And I was asked to talk about my experience as a woman in tech. And I can only do that by showing you basically 12 learnings that I had in the last 3.5 years. I was the second employee of Wuga, and Wuga is nowadays 250 people. So you might realize that there has been a lot of change. And during those years, I have learned a lot, and I would really like to share this with you. If there are any questions in between, just let me know. So, I'm here to tell you a story. And the story begins with this guy. I'm sorry it's a guy, but that's the founder of Wuga. So his name is Jens, and I know him from a former work that I did. But basically, the story starts with his not so well done pitch. Or I call it his best pitch ever, because he approached me and said, hey Stephanie, we don't have a product yet. I cannot pay you as much as you get right now, and I cannot assure you that you will get money at the end of the year. Do you want to join my company? And I was like, sure. And the company was not even called Wuga at the time. It was just 3 founders and 1 intern that I had referred to Jens, and then I joined. And I did that, and here comes my family into the talk. Because my family was always backing me. So for example, I mean, before that I had a pretty secure job. I had a contract full-time, I had a salary, and it was safe for the next years. Or, well, what is safe, but it seemed to be safe. And I talked to my parents and told them about Jens' best pitch ever. And I would have expected that my parents would say, hey, well, this is not really secure as a job. Why do you want to do this? And they didn't do this because they knew I was happy to do so and to jump and just take this adventure. So they backed me. And that leads me to my first lesson. Just do it and jump. I think that's for me, at least in my career or path, I would rather say, it was very, very important to just jump right into the topics, because I had no idea about games. I had no idea about social games, who had at the time, but I didn't even have an idea about games. And I thought, well, why not building a game? Why not? I mean, if Jens thinks I can do it, then I should just try. So I did, and I started to play a lot of games, and one of those games that I found at the time was this game. It doesn't really look that good. But it was a browser game, and it was the first farming game I ever played. And at the time, there was no Farmville at Facebook. So this was the first time I saw farming. And as I said, it was a browser game. It was just German. And I thought, hey, we need this on Facebook. But at the same time, we started to do a brainstorming. So here you can see the 3 founders of Wuga, together with the 1 intern we had, and me. This group sat together and we did a brainstorming on what would be the game that Stephanie is doing. And this was basically the list. You cannot read anything, that's on purpose, because there were a lot of ideas. And I went home on that day, and we all, like those 4 plus me, we agreed on 3 topics that I would work on to, like, I don't know, work on that idea, so that I would do a 1-pager on those 3 ideas. But something that was not included was this gardening topic. And here's the gardening topic. We had it in the brainstorming, but it was not in the favorite list of those 4 people. And I went home, I created those 3 1-pagers. But in the end, this gardening topic somewhat really stick to my mind. So I thought, well, I just create a 4th 1-pager. And this was my first sketch. You can clearly see I'm not a graphic designer, I'm just a product girl. And I basically went back to Jens, the founder, as I said before, and I presented this 1-pager first. So this gardening idea that I had, that nobody really favorited. And this leads me to my 2nd lesson, enjoy the responsibility. He basically said, Stephanie, I don't want to see your next 3 1-pagers that we agreed upon, because I can see that you are really excited about this idea, and I give you the chance to just work on what you would like to work on. And that's what we then did. So we decided, okay, we do this gardening game for Facebook. At the same time, Farmville came out. And, well, all of you know Farmville, I know. I'm pretty sure it bothered you in your Facebook stream. And, well, we were kind of struggling. Do we really want to do a farming game? Because a lot of competitors came out with farming games as well. So then, that's how the monsters came into the game. So this was the first sketch of the monsters. And when I saw that, I really fell in love with them. And again, it was me who decided to put those monsters into the game. Nobody overruled me. Jens didn't overrule me. Nobody does that in the company. And I think that's really, really important. And of course, it is a big responsibility to just decide. You're taking a big risk, but in the end, it's a lot of fun. And the same happened with this guy. So in Monster World, it's a farming game essentially, so everybody knows the system. And there is a customer, and he always wants to buy something from you. And we thought, okay, now we have monsters running around in the garden. Who is this customer guy? And, well, it couldn't be a monster, that would be too puzzling. It couldn't be a human being, because I personally thought that would be too boring. So we decided for this robot, just because I love robots. And again, I took this responsibility. It took me a lot of sleepless nights. That doesn't look like it, because it's just a robot, but I couldn't really get my head around the fact that there are monsters running around in a garden, and then there is a robot who's buying stuff. There were not a lot of people who were believing in this idea. Anyway, we put it in the game. Okay, my next lesson. Then we started to prototype, and I think that's that. And I have some product lessons here as well, because I'm a product girl, so I can't stop talking about it. But I think this is not only valid for games, it's valid for any kind of technology product that you want to build. So I think it might be helpful. So we started to prototype. It looked like this. It looked like crap. But that was on purpose. And I think it's really, really important to prototype your idea very fast, and then just put users in front of it and let them see your product and let them test it. And then you will find out. For us, it looks like this. This is user testing at WUGA. We just invite people and ask them to look at the game and play. And basically, we want to find out, is it fun that what we are building here? And this is really, really tough. So this is something that very often I feel it's very hurtful, and there is always a barrier to go there. I have heard so many excuses to not do user testing, but because you see people failing in front of your product, and that really hurts, of course. But in the end, it's always helpful, because in the end, you get a more user-friendly product, and I think that's very important. And something that is really important here as well is that we take people from the team, and it could be as well engineers or graphic designers, and they just watch people using what they are building on. And I think that's important, because then they get an actual idea. They are not looking at code all the time, they are getting an actual idea. All right, and the next thing is dedication and how we are working in small teams. So this was the team of Monster World at the very, very beginning. Very small, but still for me it was very new. So I never had a team like this. I never was the boss of the team. For me it still feels a bit weird when I say that. But I had to run this team, right? And I was kind of struggling for some time, and then this guy again a guy, I'm sorry, but he helped me a lot. So he was part of the team, and he one day told me, hey, Stephanie, you know what? There is no one who will take the decisions for you. Don't wait. You have to call the shot. You have to do it. And that sounds kind of obvious if I'm talking about it today, but it was not that obvious at the time. So I didn't do that. And that was for me very, very helpful, because then I just started to do that. And that helped a lot, because there were a lot of people in the team that just wanted to hear from me, we are running into that direction, or we are running into that direction. And then, okay, fast forward, some months fast forward, this is how we launched the game. And this is a number that shows that the game was not a success. Okay, only where the arrow is. So for the first months, it was not a success. And that was tough, because we still had to work on this game, and as I said before, not a lot of people were believing in this game. But, well, we kept running, and we do that. Okay, fast forward again. This is the game how it looked today. So very important, how we do this is, and this is again about responsibility. We work, you know this already, okay. And not a lot of people know this word, hippo. It actually means don't follow the highest paid person's opinion. Okay, now I got it. So obviously Jens, no, I don't know if Jens is the highest paid person in the company, but this basically means it doesn't really matter who is calling the shot, especially on products. You can go so wrong very often. I had so many ideas and I thought this would be the best, this would be performing very well. And it doesn't in the end. It turns out it doesn't. So how do we find out if something works well or not? We are not only working on our gut feeling, we are working based on numbers. And this is a nice example of it. So Monster World, as I said, is a gardening game, but it started like this. That was the first screen of the game. And it was actually an idea of Jens that I had agreed to build into the game. And basically it shows you, yeah, you have to choose your monster family. And then we started to test this feature. This is how we do this via A/B testing, where you put a feature live for, let's say, 50% of the people, and the other 50% didn't see this feature. So to go back, 50% saw this, the other 50% didn't. And then we just measured, and we looked into the metrics and analyzed them and found out we lost so many people on this step that we just had to build it out. And this is what I mean by don't follow the hippo again. It was Jens' idea, we built it in, and we proved him wrong. And this happened to me as well. So I had 1,000 ideas and they were not working well. But this is the beauty of metrics that we are using, because you can actually measure if your idea is right or wrong. And this is really helpful because you don't have to like discuss, I have this opinion and this person has this opinion, and then you end up discussing for 3 hours. No, you just measure it, and that helped us a lot, at least. To show you just one example, usually I give talks of 40 minutes about this topic. Just one example, we have magic wands in the game. This is basically, what's the word? A fertilizer. So if you want your plants to grow faster, you use a magic wand. Or your monster has eaten your plant and you just have to use a magic wand to regrow it. Okay, and this is how you buy magic wands. Okay, you can't see this. I just go here and show you. This button there. This is the button that you click when you want to use the magic wand. On the left side, you would have to use all your 45 magic wands until you can buy new ones. On the right side, there is a tiny little difference, and that's this plus. So you don't have to use up all the magic wands. You can just click the plus, and you can enter the shop. Now, we tested this, as I said before. We had those two versions live at the same time for, I think, 50% each. And what came out was that just this tiny little plus gave us 23% more revenue of magic wands. This is just this example shows very well what we do there. And I really love to show it. Okay, next lesson, iterate often. So how do we work? We do this in, we use Scrum and Kanban, but not religiously. So we are working in weekly iterations. This is very, very tough, but once you have your engineers there, they actually like it. After some months, they will get back to you and say, hey, this is actually good. And iterating often, this goes as well with fail fast. So something that I have learned in the past is that I think it's very, very important to create a culture where mistakes are actually okay. Because then nobody is afraid of admitting that he or she did a mistake. And I think that's very human to do a mistake, and very important that it's just okay. But if you fail, you should do it fast, so that you learn a lot. So everybody has burned the hands, but that should happen faster. I'm at 15 minutes over. The little love that you put into your products that makes it a very polished and a very polished product with a high quality. So throughout the development of Monster World, we were at a time where we added a lot of features, because the game was not successful in the beginning. And then one day, Jens came to me and said, hey, did we actually lose track on the tiny little details? And I said, yes, we did. And then we stopped development and just looked into the details. And to show you what I mean by this is, I have to show you some of our characters that we are using in the game. So here we have Robert. It's a sketch. That's the robot I was talking about. And everybody in the user tests was afraid of him because I don't know why, I loved him, but some people were kind of stressed. So this mafia guy standing there always wants something from me, I don't know what. So we added a little animation. It looks like this. So he started to learn rope skipping. And this is something, no, I go on with Roberta. So he learned rope skipping and then he fell in love. This is Roberta, his girlfriend. And it all started with table tennis, always does, right? And he's kind of clumsy, but he's totally in love with him. And what I want to show you here, this is something that you can never measure in any metric. It's just about your gut feeling, and I hope that our users see those little details and that they enjoy it. But I'm not sure if they do. And something as well that is important here is this does not only encourage your users to get back to the game, it as well encourages your colleagues to work on the product. So for example, this here. One day I came to work and Timo, sitting there, had organized that Robert now gives some tiny little flowers to Roberta as a very, very small animation in the game. And I didn't know about it. So I came to work, I played Monster World, and I saw this. And this is just really, really engaging. If you see, I mean, you just fall in love with your product over and over again. Sometimes you just hate it, of course. But if you see such little details, it's really, really encouraging. And this is what happens then. People send you pictures, so this is a user picture. And this is as well what happens to the team. They started to create the area. So the area of Monster World, this is old, but it's very well decorated, so that looks really good. All right, to sum that up, we create games by combining our brains, meaning the metrics, together with this little love part. And this led to a successful game. So nowadays, Monster World is successful. It has around 2 million daily active users. And this led as well Wooga to grow. And our vision is to create games for everyone. And this leads me to my next learning, focus. Wooga is all about focus. And I think that applies to any kind of company. It's really, really important to focus on what you do. So for Wooga, this is, we build Facebook games, we build mobile games for iOS and for Android. And that's it. We don't do any merchandise. We get a lot of emails about, do you want to do you want to do merchandising with your monsters? Stuff like that. There is just no one who could work on this. We want to focus on our games. So this is what we do. We just focus on those 3 things, and that's it. Next lesson, transparency. So today, I already said it, we are nowadays 250 people. And we are organized in those game teams where people are dedicated. So there is always one product lead in place, and then there are graphic designers, engineers, and product managers all working together. It's around about 10 to 20 people, and they all sit together. And I think then the biggest challenge is to bring knowledge from one team to the other. So what we do is we have this one place where we all are in Berlin, just one office, no studio. And we are all about transparency, meaning we share a lot between the games. So we have this Monday morning stand-up, every Monday morning, where we talk about some topics. Then we have weekly team meetings for every game, and everybody can join this meeting. And we have something called reporting.wuga.com, where everybody can look up the most important numbers on the games. So this is something that I think as a philosophy is very, very important. At the same time, we have something called 5 minutes of fame, where, for example, 5 minutes of fame of product people, or 5 minutes of fame of the backend people, where everybody in the company can speak 5 minutes about what they are currently working on, just to share the knowledge. Okay, 12, last lesson. Diversity for the win, and this is the toughest. So when I was asked to speak here, I basically did some research on women in tech. And I found out, not that I haven't known this before, but it's a broad topic. And and I found one really good article on the topic. It's called On Women in Tech or something on TechCrunch. And there was a guy who, I think he did Cloudflare. He has a female co-CEO. And he was talking about how we should rather have more diversity than more women. Okay, so here we go, more diversity. This doesn't really look like diversity, but he was basically describing how he founded a company with 2 fellow, I don't know, students, I think, some guys he had studied with, and they were literally all thinking the same, and they were all deciding the same. The startup was not really particularly successful. And he blames it as well because he blames the missing diversity for it as well. So the point here is you don't need 3 people to think the same thing. Look at those guys, Jens and Philip, the 2 founders of Wuga. They are completely different. They couldn't be more different, really. Jens is big, he's a product guy, and he is, from my perspective, very human. So he cares a lot about the people, he always asks me how I am, and I'm not saying that Philip doesn't care about us. But Philip, he's the tech, he's basically the CTO, so he's a tech guy, and he is rather short. And for example, you see that when they describe the company. So Jens always does this big presentation about Wuga, and Philip would do this in 1 sentence. But actually, this is good. They are very different, but they are running the company in a very, very good way. And this we try to do in the teams as well. So we have 27% women. I had to ask our HR department. 27%, of course, is not really high. But it's not because we are not looking for women, right? We are hiring, by the way. Did I say that? Anyway, what we are trying in the teams is to have a diversity between old Wugas and new Wugas, between, obviously, women and men, and between all the nationalities that we have. So there are, I think, 35 nationalities now at Wuga, and we try to mix that as much as possible within those 20 people that a team consists of. And I think that's very, very important. Okay, that's the end. Just one more thing. I'm part of the Berlin Geckets. It's basically an organization very close to the girls in tech, and we are doing mentorships, we are facilitating basically communication between girls in Berlin, and there are, I don't even know how many girls are in that group, but it is a very, very big group, and it has been growing very, very much in the past months. Yeah, we should connect. That was my one more thing. Oh yeah, and all the best for the girls in Tech Romania. That's it.
So thank you very much, Stephanie, for being here with us tonight. We will proceed now to our next special guest. Irina Anghel-Enescu decided more than 10 years ago to give up to a career in a company and follow her entrepreneurial calling. She founded a law firm specialized in advising both funds and entrepreneurs. Irina is Secretary General of the Southeastern European Private Equity and Venture Capital Association and has been nominated by Girls in Tech UK as one of the most influential 100 women in tech in Europe. We are very proud to have Irina with us this evening, and I invite her to continue.
Thank you very much. Well, my darkest secret is out. This is when you don't do your homework. This is the worst nightmare. I'm a lawyer, but I'm a recovering lawyer. I've spent some time in the US, and there I used to start my lectures in front of the students with a little joke, to look a little bit more humane. So I will do the same with you. Do you know what's the biggest difference, or what's the difference between lawyers and terrorists? The terrorists still have sympathizers. I'm more than honored to be here. Actually, I've been pushing a little bit my limits in order to be here. I've been quite sick for a while, and I kept postponing preparing this presentation because, not only that Stephanie's act is very hard to follow, it's almost impossible to follow such a wonderful act, someone talking about a game and about all the experience that have been distilled over time. But what I will try to do, and I will have to kindly ask for your understanding and tolerance, is to speak from my heart, because actually what I did was to try to put together a few slides with my thoughts and feelings for the Girls in Tech launch today. And this is definitely not my first slide, but it's a good start. Okay, here it is. So it all started with Catalina writing me a Facebook message, actually, and saying that Girls in Tech Romania is to be launched. And I was very touched and very happy to hear about that, because I didn't have the opportunity to see so many girls passionate by technology in Romania. And I strongly believe that technology is one of the means through which we can overcome all the obstacles. I returned to Romania with a desire of making this country a better place. And one of the things which I find very often, and I returned from Iași recently, I've been to Cluj, talking to entrepreneurs all over the country. One of the things that I found is that people feel to a certain extent helpless. I was not planning to talk to you about this, but if you will allow me for 2 minutes, I will tell you one of my theories about what's going on here. There is a very famous psychologist in the United States. He was for more than 20 years the president for the American Psychological Association. And he is one of the leading forces behind the positive psychology theory. And one of the concepts that he developed is called learned helplessness. And basically what he says is that to the extent that you are told for a very long time that you can't do something, you will not believe that you can do it. One of his very famous experiments is with 3 lots of dogs. So basically he takes several dogs and he prepares certain cages for them. The first set of dogs is put in some cages for 3 weeks, and they have some electrical shocks. But what happens is that the moment that when they touch a certain pedal within the cage, they can free themselves. So you can imagine the dogs, and then there are the electrical shocks, mild ones, I checked because I'm a dog lover, as probably many of you are. And the moment when they touch the pedal, they can free themselves. The second type of cage, however, is far less friendly. They get the electrical shocks, but they cannot free themselves. And the third set of dogs, they are placed in cages, but nothing happens to them. So there are no electrical shocks. 3 weeks later, they are all removed from the original cages, and they are placed in a different type of cage. And they can all free themselves the moment when the electrical shocks start, to the extent that they simply push the gate of the cage. So all they need to do, they don't need to identify the pedal, they don't need to do anything else. All they need to do is just to want to break free, want to get out. Guess what? The dogs which belonged to the first group, the ones with the pedal, and the third group, the ones without the electrical shocks, they go out immediately. They just don't want to stand the electrical shocks, and they go out. However, those which were in the cages, in which they had to learn that there is not much to be done, a large majority of those in the second group stay on the bottom of the cage and wait, because they know that there is not much to be done. So one of the things that I've noticed in Romania, especially in the countryside, and especially with those people who are not very inclined to use technology, is that they kind of believe that nothing is within their power. And I believe that those of you who are close to technology, who can experience not only the outside world or the world where lots of amazing things happen, but also the interactivity, the connection can definitely make a difference. Now, going back to my presentation, we are definitely talking a lot in the United States about the glass ceiling. How many of you think that we are dealing with a glass ceiling in Romania? Do you know what the glass ceiling is? So basically, women, especially feminists, are saying that there is a glass ceiling which is limiting women from advancing in high position. So how many of you do believe that in Romania we're dealing with a glass ceiling? Do you feel discriminated? A few of you. Very few. Well, in the United States, if I go to Harvard or Stanford, I can tell you that everyone, most of the women actually, will raise their hands and they will say, well, we feel discriminated. Men are not allowing us to take all the high positions. And actually, they feel that they need to act like this. This leads to a lot of aggressivity. Maybe we can avoid that. Especially since when it comes to technology, one of the first programmers ever, have you heard of this woman? She was a woman. She was also Lord Byron's daughter, but this is another story for you to dig more into it. But actually, one of the first programmers was a woman. And I dare to challenge you to believe that in Romania, we already went through the glass ceiling. And I will give you two examples. You know, generally I have pictures of men in my presentations, and I've just realized how wrong is that, men entrepreneurs. But this time I'm asking my wonderful audience, do you know who these ladies are? Yeah? Well, they are entrepreneurs and founders of two of the largest Romanian technology companies. This lady here, her name is Mariuca Talpeș. She is one of the founders of a group which is called Softwin. In Softwin group, we have a company which is called Bitdefender, which is one of the multinational companies started in Romania. Actually, I was in Sri Lanka a few weeks ago, and I literally jumped out of a cab because I've seen an ad of Bitdefender there. And then I posted on Facebook and I asked all my friends and I said, can you tell me which Romanian multinational might have been? Can you think which are the Romanian multinationals which might be in South Asia? And it was funny to see how little people know about Romanian companies which are abroad. What was funny though was that two of my friends, one from Spain and one from the US, said, well, we are working with Bitdefender. One was their lawyer in Spain, and the other one was working in a partnership with them in the US. So Mariuca Talpeș is one of them. The other one? Have you heard of a lady called Irina Sokol? Siveco? So again, if you look at the turnover of these companies, you will see that they are probably the largest domestic technology companies. And they all have women among the founders. Do you know who this woman is? Emma. Emma who? Emma from Advent, that's perfect. You know, actually, I dream of me being recognized as Irina from somewhere. I'm not going to say from where, but this is the friendliest thing that could happen. So Emma Poparadu, to do justice to her husband, because for her, I'm sure Emma is fine, she is the managing partner for Romania of one of the largest funds in the world, which is called Advent. They have for Central and Eastern Europe 1.1 billion euros. And I can tell you that whenever I go to the United States and I talk about this strange landscape in Romania where, you know, you have women at the helm of the largest funds, and actually, I was trying to identify today funds active in Romania which don't have women in their team. And I can tell you that I'm not sure, there might be one. But most of the funds have, if not women at the helm, at least women in the investment team, which is pretty rare, at least when you think about the United States. Generally, most of the funds are run by men. So my allegation is that we are doing pretty well. And actually, you know, when I was at Harvard, I had kind of a mentor. She was someone I admired a lot. Her name is Barbara Kellerman. She is one of the top 10 thinkers in leadership declared by New York Times. Fascinating lady. And she was teaching, among others, a course in women in leadership. And I enrolled enthusiastically. Just that I discovered that everyone there, including the men, were ultra-feminists. Actually, in that class, there was a lady enrolled. Her name is Ashley Judd. If you Google her, you'll see that she is a very beautiful actress. And she went to one of the very famous talk shows on the American television with a T-shirt saying, "This is how a feminist looks like." Everyone was extremely aggressive. And I was like, well, absolutely, we should receive all our rights. We should be treated as equals to men. But why should we ask for positive discrimination? And what I've learned is that we are lucky compared to other places, at least when it comes to business. We are definitely doing pretty well. By the way, do you know who is the CEO of the largest Romanian company? Mariana Gheorghe. Petrom. She's a woman. So we're doing pretty well, right? We're doing pretty well. And I think that this is a fantastic news, because I think that when women step in, you have this difference between love and apathy. And also I believe that women are doers. You know, one of my frustrations is that we have so many people going on TV and telling us, based on their elaborate thinking, how things should go. But we have very few people who are rolling up their sleeves and doing things, as the organizers of these events are doing. By the way, this is a cartoon from Harvard Business Review. I don't have the rights for it. Please don't give me. And I was very, very happy to be here, because I know how important it is for women, and especially young women, to be able to look up for role models. And this is exactly what Girls in Tech is going to do. This is what they do all over the world, and this is what they are going to do here. It doesn't matter how good you are. Unless you have someone to look up to, it's going to be far more difficult. Moreover, I believe that there are lots of crossroads in one's life. And it's very important, you know, when you feel, when you feel like a kid in a candy store or in a toy shop, to have a mentor. And it's very difficult to find mentors these days. So I believe that this is going to be a place where you are going to have the opportunity to identify, number one, role models, which are important, even though, you know, they might be quite remote. You might not spend a lot of time with them, but also mentors. And I encourage all of you to think about that. You know, one of the big problems with women leaders and women managers is that generally they tend to allocate a little bit less time to mentoring other women. There are lots of movements these days, especially in the United States, encouraging women to take time out of their busy schedule, and it's normal to be busy, in order to mentor other women. So let's hope that this is going to be a hub of mentorship, because otherwise women have a lot of things to do. I mean, definitely we do have far more things to do than others. And you know, sometimes we could use a little bit of help. And I encourage you today, at the beginning of this Romanian chapter of Girls in Tech, to look for those who might need only that little extra push in order to take off. I hope that this is going to be an inspiration point. I came here with a strong belief that we all believe we all deserve and need inspiration. I, for one, am looking for inspiration from all of you. You know, I was looking at Stephanie during her presentation and I got inspired. And then I was looking at you. Some of you were very serious. Some of you were smiling. But actually, I'm pretty sure that every one of you took away something and you are going to turn it into something nice and fruitful. And now, this is going to be my little declaration of love for girls in tech. I believe that girls in tech are creative, they are visionaries, and yes, my husband is teasing me because he says that this is me. He saw a little bit of the presentation. They are courageous. You cannot be a coward and do that. They are resourceful. You saw, we had a technological glitch. It was solved. They are optimistic. And definitely pink is sometimes our color, but it's also the lens through which we tend to see our world. They are bold. They are very educated, actually, taking advantage of the fact that I'm married to an entrepreneur who has a market research company. I asked him, what can he tell me about women and education? And he told me that actually women, when they have extra time, they want to do an extra school, an extra degree, right? So women are definitely very inclined to get a strong academic education, even in the technology field. And actually, because I'm the president of Harvard Club of Romania and Moldova, I couldn't refrain from checking what is the situation in terms of women enrolling in science degrees. And I proudly report that there is a wonderful positive trend. As you can see, the class of 2013 will have more than 40% women getting science degrees at Harvard, which, you know, for a while was a male-only university for a very long while. But also, women are hardworking. And also, based on the studies that the Dalus was doing, I took a glimpse and I could see that women are definitely multitasking more than men. They released a study, I think, 1 year ago on Romanians' behavior on the internet. And I think this was one of the clearest findings, that while on the internet, women are definitely multitasking and doing lots of things. So hardworking is a skill that we need to praise in women. And also, I think that for them, the sky is the limit. They want to grow all the time. They are full of energy. And based on all this, I would like to draw a conclusion for all of you here and also for the rest who are going to join Girls in Tech later on. Not all the superheroes wear caps. I believe that you are going to be the next generation of superheroes. And don't forget, the world is at your fingertips. I wish you best of luck with all these projects, and I hope I'm going to be here with you from time to time. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ina, for a very inspiring speech. As you can see, we prepared for you a great lineup of speakers tonight. Remarkable women that have developed careers in technology. Further on, we will discuss about what it takes to be a woman in tech with our guest speakers. And I'm proud to invite them next to me on stage for the panel, and I'm going to sit also here. I'm going to invite them Raylene Jung, Engineering Management at Facebook. Jessica Gronsky, Software Engineer at Facebook. Raluca Georgescu, Country Manager Allegro Group Romania, co-founder of How2Web and founder of Raluca.ro. Adelina Pelta, blogger and supporter of European tech entrepreneurship. And last but not least, Maria Diaconu, founder and coordinator of Agile Works Romania and owner at Mosaic Works. Dear ladies, first of all, welcome and thanks a lot for being here with us tonight. I will start by asking you to tell us more about yourselves. Why have you chosen to be women in tech? Why have you chosen your career?
Hi, so my name is Raylene. I'm currently an engineering manager at Facebook, which our headquarters are in Menlo Park, California, which is kind of like an hour from San Francisco. So why did I go into tech? That's a question. Okay, so actually I went to Stanford University, which is also in California, and I originally started off as a math major because I think like, you know, maybe it's different today, but when I was in high school, like, or in school, people didn't really study computer science. It wasn't a field people really thought about, but I was always interested in math. So I started off as a math major, and then I got to college, I realized I really wanted to be building things and like being part of the world in that way, while to study like pure math, really the path was into academia or into teaching, which I did really enjoy, but I decided computer science was something that really helped you engage with the world. So after I got a graduate degree in theoretical computer science, I started working at Facebook. And at Facebook, I've been lucky to work on a lot of really interesting products. So I spent the first couple years working on Newsfeed and Timeline, which are two of our kind of more visible user products. And for the last year or so, I've been working on privacy. So basically, it kind of comes back to like my roots in mathematics, but I think I really enjoy working on hard problems, and privacy is a really hard one. So that's kind of where I've ended up. And while I was a software engineer for almost 3 years, I've been an engineering manager for the last year now at Facebook too. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Jessica Gronsky. I've been at Facebook for about 2.5 years as a software engineer, and I've worked on ads, and I'm now working on the groups team. Okay, so what did I get into computer science? It's sort of an interesting story, actually. I was a political science major, actually, and I had envisioned myself maybe working for the State Department, and I had a roommate who was taking a computer science class, and she had this strange love-hate relationship where she would, you know, throw the book across the floor and then say it was the most wonderful thing in the world. And I was intrigued, so I decided that I would take a course, and I really feel that, and I made the decision to switch to the major because of all the sciences, of all the things that you could possibly do, computer science is one of the things that can really affect the world very immediately, and I find that really rewarding, and anybody who wants to make a difference in the world should really consider trying doing a little coding. So.
I am Raluca Georgescu, and I'm the country manager of Allegro Group in Romania. Allegro Group is an e-commerce player, so yeah, it's about computers, but it's also about shopping, and as women love shopping, or this is how they say. I also studied computer science, and it also went back to my passion for maths in high school. So it was the normal choice to go for programming and computer science. But while I was in university, I realized that I liked working with people much more than I liked programming and staying in front of the PC and so on. So I went into combining in my career management, leadership, working with people, and online business. So.
Well, to answer the question first is because tech is the future, and I'm always attracted by what's going to be next. Most of the people know me as a marketing girl, as a blogger at the moment, but before actually going for a marketing university and writing and becoming a specialist in PR, and actually my PR lady is here taking a picture. Hello, Catalina. Before this, I was actually in informatics high school, and I was actually pretty good at physics and informatics and mathematics and all that. The most important thing that drove me into this tech world was actually the inspiration I got from my father, who was always an early adopter of all the gadgets. So I always had like the newest technology in the house, and I could play along. And perhaps I was sometimes just on the surface, like just testing stuff and moving forward, but he was always like going deeper and showing me how stuff works. And we actually built together an electronic watch, think hardware, not software. So it was pretty cool. But then I decided to hack the real world and not just computers. So now I'm specializing in psychology, and also I have some startups in recruitment which are not far away from this.
Hi, I'm Maria Diaconu. I'm founder and coordinator of Vegelin community in Romania, and I'm very proud of these things. This is why I decided to start with this thing. I'm a former software developer, and I would say that I entered this industry, I started the university in computer science by accident and by luck, but I continued by passion. So I used to be a software developer for many years. I work in France and in other countries. I stayed in Paris for 2 years. And then I continued to love building systems in small companies, in large companies. And in 2007, 2008, I started my own company, Mosaic Works, and we are helping now other teams to develop great software. So I continue to combine my main two passions, tech and education. Thank you.
Taking into consideration the experience that you have so far, what are the advantages and disadvantages of a woman in tech?
I think, the two earlier speakers talked about a lot about this as well, touched on this. I mean, there's a lot. So I think one thing is back to the idea of diversity. Diversity is just very important in when you're coming up with any product, when you're working on something as a team, it's really important to have different perspectives. For Facebook, for example, more of our users around the world are actually women. I forget the exact number, but I don't know if anyone knows, but definitely more than 52%. But also, not purely just a number of users. Women on Facebook are actually way more active users than men. They just share more with their friends. They have more friends. They use the site more often. So I think it's kind of indicative of the idea that women tend to be, this is blatant generalizing, obviously, kind of more social creatures, more attuned to how people are working together. I think that's actually a really big benefit for me, being a woman on a team that's mostly men. I think that in general, you just have a different viewpoint. You know how to work with other people in a different way. I also think women are generally kind of more sensitive about giving feedback and working in a collaborative way. Okay, I'm just rambling now, so I'll let someone else talk.
I actually find this a really tough question. So I'm not sure if, do you, okay.
I'm gonna give you a joke in order to relax the atmosphere. Margaret Thatcher, I think, used to say that women who seek to be equal to men lack ambition. So.
So, advantages or?
Women think a lot.
This is an advantage or a disadvantage?
It depends. So I guess I could go until she's going to say something. I would say that it's an unfair advantage at the moment that we are really few women in this space. I say a few by looking mostly at the conferences where I go, and like 90% of them are men. But that is good because we stand out just like on a visual aspect, and hey. But I wouldn't say that there are real differences between men and women, because I've seen, they're said that men are more like in hunter mode and women are more like responsible and sociable. But most of the times when I see girls in tech, I see a combination of both. So I'm not really sure there is a difference. It's just that at the moment, I think we should take advantage. That is really few of us. Media is supporting this. They would love to write about women in tech and entrepreneurship. Investors are supporting this. You should have seen Dave McClure, how he was changing his approach when women were pitching at Pioneers Festival. And yeah, but then you should really, really be competitive enough in this world. It's not about your gender in the end. It's about what you actually do.
Thank you all for being here tonight, and I do hope that we will see you again at the next events organized by Girls in Tech Romania. And don't forget that Girls in Tech is an emergent community whose value depends on each and every one of us. So we invite you to network, and we invite you to continue to stay connected via Facebook, email, Skype, and for now, thank you very much for being here, and we invite you to the Drinks and Connect bar. Thank you very much.